One. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me, as always, is Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. How's it going, fellas?
It's going.
Going good. It's been a long time since we've been here.
Yeah, it has. It's been a couple of weeks. Usually we do every other week, and then I got sick, so that threw everything off. And then I was working, and that threw everything off to even try to do it last week. So it's okay. It saved up a lot of stuff to talk about, so that's always a good
it's been
thing.
about a month since I've been here.
Yeah, because you were out of town, and Eric was out of town at one point, I think. So it was kind of threw everything off. But I think we're should be pretty good. Done with cons and done with done with that kind of stuff for now. Yeah, for a little while anyway. So. Then it's just the holidays. Yeehaw. Everybody loves the holidays.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, though.
Oh, yeah. Whoop, my camera fell. Let me straighten that up there. I've been adjusting things, so have to go back and adjust new things. Things back to normal again. But anyway, we're not here to talk about me adjusting my camera like I'm going to go ahead and do it again. There we go. But we're here to talk about video games. So what's everybody been playing and doing? Who wants to go first about what they've been playing?
There's lots and lots of stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I guess, why don't we just start with Destiny, since a few of us have already played that.
Yeah, I've played it. I know Robert's played it. Eric, you're not playing it, are you?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
Not this time.
So what did you think about it, Robert? I'll ask you.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Did you finish? You finished the first one, didn't you?
I played through all the story stuff except for the very final release for it, the last DLC. I don't even remember what that one. Yeah, no, I played Taken King. What was the one after that? That'd have been another one.
I think the last one was Taken King.
Anyway, there was one. There was one at the end I didn't play, but I'm really liking this one. I am on. I don't really want to do any spoilers, but as far as the story goes, it's okay. I thought there'd be more, honestly, than what they've been doing.
Did you finish it yet?
Not yet. No, I'm very very close to the end, I believe. I'm past IO now, I guess, or I might still be on IO. I did the first really long mission on IO.
Gotcha.
Just at level 11. I don't know what power level I am because I haven't even beat the story, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, if you're only level 11, I mean, I hit level 20, and I've still played. I think I still had 2 or 3 hours left in the story. So
I haven't done any of the adventures. I've just been doing the straight story missions.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's why.
I would advise doing some of the adventures, because when you finish a story, about a half a dozen others on each planet open up, and you're going to have a ton of stuff to do. And a lot of it will be low-level stuff, so you won't get any good rewards out of it, probably.
So I should go back and do that?
I cleared out every planet before I moved on to the next story, because they were pretty quick. They only took.
Do the adventures not respawn or anything? I thought those were kind of like the new patrols.
No, the patrols are still patrols. These are just side quest adventures. Once you're done with them, you're done with them. So. And then
I'll go back and do that.
When you finish the story, a bunch of other ones will open up. I mean, they're totally optional. You don't have to do them, but they add a little bit to the story and playtime. I think it took me like 10 hours to do the story, and I cleared out all the planets except I think the last one I didn't clear out because I just wanted to kind of get through the story. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty. The story, there was a lot more story in this one. I'll say that. Cutscenes. There's a lot more cutscenes. There's a lot more when you go to talk to somebody and turn in a mission. There's a lot of standing there and listening to them talk instead of having to go to your cell phone and pull up a thing and find out why they didn't, explain this part of the story or that part of the story. Graphics-wise, I don't think, at least on the PlayStation 4 regular, I don't think it looked too much different. It was a little shinier.
No, I'm running it on the Pro, and it's definitely nothing crazy. The the lighting's a little different, and that's really all I could say for it.
Yeah, the cutscenes look a lot better than they did on the last one, and I think it's.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nathaniel.
I was just saying, I don't have anything to compare it to, but the beta on PC looked really nice.
Yeah.
So, and maybe it's just original Destiny also looked nice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, original Destiny, the gameplay looked good. The cutscenes were, nice, but they weren't. The cutscenes are definitely better in the second one. But I mean, to me, it didn't look like there was a huge upgrade. Maybe, but on PC, it was definitely different because I can run it on PC at a higher resolution than I could on, with more assets and more everything. So it did look a little better on the PC, I thought. And 60 frames a second helps too.
A lot of PC, what you see is resolution, but also you see particles are a lot better on PC because they just have res that they can throw at those things.
Yeah.
You're not bottlenecked by the system or the GPU that's in the system.
Yeah. No more Grimoire cards, none of that crap. I've not had to pull up my app for any kind of lore or anything, which is good.
Who is this character and what they do? Yeah, at least it's built in the game this time. So.
Yeah, I mean it's all in the game this time, which is good. You
30 hours of story. That's a pretty long single player experience.
I don't know if it's 30 hours. I beat the main story in less than 10.
I was gonna say I've put maybe 5 or 6 in, and again I haven't done any of the side stuff.
And I did, and that was doing 3/4 of the side stuff. I maybe had 10 or 12 hours into it.
Okay, so still not bad.
Once you hit 20,
10 is good to me.
Yeah. Well, when you hit 20, there's maybe 5 or 6 on each planet again to go back and do new stories, and then there's patrols and. Grinding gear is a whole lot different this time around because you don't have to do the raid if you don't want to. You don't have to do strikes if you don't want to. I haven't done my light level is 267. I've done 1 strike. I haven't even done a nightfall yet. I haven't done any of the raid yet. All I've done is patrols, public events, and found treasure chests with rep things, and just went and turned in rep. Because once you fill out a rep bar, you get loot. When you fill out a rep bar, you get loot. So each planet I'll play for a little while, doing patrols and getting loot, getting reps, turn in the rep coins, and maybe turn in 20 or 30 at one time, and then. You really rack up things pretty quick that way. And that was just me playing by myself, not stepping into a group, not getting on, playing strikes over and over and over and over and over again. You can do it that way if you want to. Which, if there's always 2 or 3 guys playing together, then sure, I would do strikes with everybody rather than doing patrols all day long with somebody. Because that gets kind of boring after a while. But, my advice was, the way I did it was, once I finished the game, I went into Cade and bought they're not treasure maps. The treasure maps are something different. I forget what they call them, reports or something. And what it does is it's a consumable, lasts 4 hours. All the when you're near a chest, it pops up on your screen like you would an enemy or a thing. So while you're walking around doing patrols, you're just hitting chest after chest after chest after chest, and that's how you get your rep coins. You don't have missions to do rep with other guys. When you break down guns now, instead of doing missions for the gunsmith, you just take your weapon parts that you take a breakdown gear, turn those in, and you get weapons that way too. So, I mean, the loot is a lot more free-falling than it was, the other way. You didn't have to really grind at a nightfall or grind at a strike or... really you don't have to do the raid if you don't want to, and you still get gear. But, I mean, if you want to find out that part of the story, then you want to do the raid.
Right, and I mean, if you're not doing the raid, you're missing out on a lot of the game, and you're just going to be getting loot for no reason, really.
Right, yeah, I mean, and you hit a wall at about 270. I hit a wall last night where finally just doing that grind of patrols, rep, and public events wasn't giving me anything anymore. Then it was time to move on to, I think they call them memories or flashpoints or something like that, or maybe both, that you do, and you get rep that, or get loot that way by replaying old missions again from the game, at a little harder level, which is cool too. But I like it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to slam 500-600 hours in it like I did the last time, but I mean, I like it. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth
You're getting a pretty good reception.
What's that?
It's getting a pretty good reception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big improvement over the first one.
I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind over the first one.
No.
Though. Like, if you don't like the way the game plays and you don't want a social game where you're, grinding for loot just to do some raids and get stronger, then this isn't going to change your mind. And I don't think the story is worth buying the game for.
No, I think the story in the first one was a lot better than the second one.
Was the story in the first one better at launch? That's what you should compare at.
Yes, I think so. But it was an origin story. I mean, it's kind of like taking
I don't even recall the story from the first one.
It's kind of like taking, a trilogy of movies and saying, which one do you like better? Sometimes the second one's better, sometimes the first one's better, sometimes the third one's better. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And sometimes origin stories are always going to be better because you go into it with I hate to say a whimsical attitude, but you don't know what's going on. You're kind of dropped into this thing and you're learning this story as you go along. I just wish that they would have had the storytelling ability in the first one like they do in this one. It would have made the game a whole lot better, and I think it would have been received a whole lot better. More people probably would have stuck around for a little while.
Put the story in there instead of having all that side stuff that they did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was the thing, because, unless you were a hardcore player and fan, everybody's like, well, it doesn't have a story. Well, it does. You just got to go over here and read it somewhere. And nobody wants to, your casual player doesn't want to do that. They want it, and I don't blame them.
They want it now.
Story that it wasn't in there. It's somewhere else. So therefore, that shouldn't count,
No, exactly. I mean, it's like I said, if you wanted a story like that, give me an ebook with it and say, while you're playing the game, read this book. Okay, at least I know going into it that
the gameplay pauses and just starts playing a score, and then it tells you to go to page whatever.
Go to page go to page 7 of the ebook and start reading till page 42, and then continue in the game.
Press
oh my
X
gosh,
when you're done.
Could you imagine if they did something like that? Everybody would just be like, "What the crap is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I like it. Everything I've done in the game so far, I've hardly done with friends. My buddies jumped in on the last hour of the game and said, "Here, let's just do the last part of the game so you can unlock strike missions, so you can unlock Nightfall, so you can unlock this, unlock that," and we just went and did it real quick. But I mean,
I've only grouped up once for like one mission, so I can't even speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, the loot falls like crazy. But I also, the other night, 2 nights ago when I tried it, I didn't get bupkis for loot. It was terrible. I just wasn't getting the drops like everybody else was. And my buddy jumped on and he said, "Oh, I got this and this and this and this." I go, "Yeah, everybody around me is getting this and this and this and this, and I'm not." So the loot table was just not agreeing with me for some reason that night.
You're the balance to the table. See, you're on the bad side. Everyone else got on the good side.
I guess that first night that we all played together, it was like boom. I was getting drops, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm actually going to be able to not have to play a ton and keep up. And then the night I played by myself, I'm like, oh man, this isn't good. And then the night after, I was like, yeah, it's fine. I raised 20 light levels in 3 hours. It was like, so. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I really like it. Am I going to play it hardcore like I did the last time? No, probably not. I do want to do the raid. And I need to get my light level up to at least 270 before I go in there. But my theory is I let the other guys figure it all out, and then they can just drag me along.
Sounds like a good plan.
It's like, then I'll come in and be useful after everybody's figured everything out, and they can just say, those raids where everybody's trying to figure things out and stand in there for 2 or 3 hours just shooting around and stuff. No, it's not for me. I was like, I got better use of my time. But
call me back up when you figured it out.
Yeah, when you figure it out, let me know. When you tell me just go over here and stand and shoot this, okay, I'm good. I don't want to figure all that out on my own. No, thank you. But what else have you played other than Destiny, Robert?
I played a lot of things. So just personally, on my own free time, I've been playing Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Now, save your GameStop ones for later. Save your Expo ones for later.
Okay. So I've been playing Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Man, I gotta get back into that.
I'm enjoying it, but it hasn't really like kept my attention yet. Since I've been playing Destiny 2, I haven't really been yearning to go back to it.
Did you get to it? Because when I was playing it, I was like enjoying the first bit, but it wasn't until maybe almost halfway through to where I was like, okay, I have to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know how far I am.
But it wasn't compelling me until I got to like a certain point in the story where it was like started driving you a lot more.
Yeah, so I'm in, I think I just finished up the open area section of the jungle where I was driving the Jeep around, collecting a bunch of different relics to unlock whatever section of the game I'm in now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. I'm like a third of the way through.
So
maybe half.
Far in then.
I'm sorry?
You're pretty far in then if you've done all of the open world to start going on to the next part.
It's only, 7 hours long? 7 to 8?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that long. I thought the gameplay was great. It is definitely, reskinned Uncharted, which is what I was expecting, but they could have at least done some more animations just to make them feel less like Drake when you're in charge of them.
Do you get this feeling? Is it like when you played The Last of Us DLC, you were like, man, I like this better than the original game. For you, do you like The Lost Legacy better than Uncharted 4?
No, I don't. And that's because of the story. I don't think the story has any impact, really. It's nice to just kind of like see those two characters interacting with each other. Yeah. But I don't think it's actually doing anything. At least it hasn't like for me yet.
A taste of the universe, a little more, and then you're
it just kind of like fleshed it out a little bit. Just made those characters, a little more three-dimensional. But Chloe already had enough personality. We didn't really need it.
Well, do you think that's because it started out as just a short expansion? It wasn't supposed to be a big 7-8 hour thing. It was supposed to just be a couple hour single-player expansion.
Well, I mean, really, all the thing that really expands it is the open world environment. So I don't really think that affected the story at all. I just don't think that they really did much with it. I mean, if they had just taken out the open world section, I don't think it would have been as good either. I think it would have even been worse, because then you wouldn't have had the one thing that's kind of new to the franchise, and that's the open world environment.
Yeah.
Finished it. I will say that the second half, it ends very strong. It's got some really cool pieces towards the end. But
I'm gonna finish it.
Still enjoyed just the characters and them interacting together more than just the overall story was like, yay. It was more like, okay, these two characters bouncing off each other was where I got kind of most of the enjoyment. And there's some fun, cool little moments between them and some of the set pieces and just downtime in between. It was really fun.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm being hard on it, but I'm not. No, I think it's really good.
Being hard on it.
But yeah, it's definitely better than Uncharted 4 or anything. It's just sort of some more of that.
Yeah.
But for characters.
And I don't really look at it as its own standalone game, kind of like how they've been marketing it. It should be considered as a downloadable piece. I do really like that they added an item in this one that I don't really know if this would be considered a spoiler, but you don't have to get it in the game, but if you do enough searching, you can get it, and it allows you to get like a little pulse on your controller when you're near treasure, which I really appreciated that. The treasure's been getting harder and harder to find over the years. They've been putting them in some crazy places, so it was nice to have a little hint.
Let's not lay it out in front of your face.
Exactly.
If you want it after you get the item, you can turn it off in the options.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's kind of like Destiny. They had those. There was times that I did not realize that there was chests around where it was, and if I hadn't had that little cheat map that blipped it up when I was near it, I never would have found it. Probably.
Yeah, I find myself stopping and just like looking for the chests in Destiny, but then I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, just wait till the end when you get when you can get the thing, and it just makes it so much easier that it actually pops it up on your HUD display. That it's just like, this is the way it should have been to begin with. But some people like that hunting, not me.
No, it's too frustrating for me. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't got time for all that.
Well, and then when you're way up high and it's somewhere down low and it's underneath something and you walk around for 15 minutes trying to find where to walk in at, it's like, nah, forget it, I'm done.
Then you get lost, you're screwed.
Yeah, and then it shuffles, it moves, so you can't come back later and go, well, let me find that thing again. Nope, it's already disappeared and moved on somewhere else. So.
Perfect.
Yeah. But anyway.
Joy.
Yeah.
No platinum for me.
No. I'm
Let me tell you something. The trophies in Destiny 2 are way easier in Destiny 1.
They look very attainable.
The only one that seems like it would be very difficult is playing the raid on the hardest level. Other than that, they're all easy. It's not doesn't look that difficult at all, and there's not very many of them, which surprises me. So
maybe it's mostly just focused at the people who are going to run through and do each different class. I guess.
Pretty much, yeah. And I don't know if I'm going to do that this time or not.
See, I was thinking about doing it this time.
I'm telling you, man, that was a lot of hours I put in that thing the last time. And now you got three different classes to unlock in your base class. You got 3 different modes. And it's like,
who am I kidding? I don't got time for that.
Yeah, I don't think I've got time for.
I just wanted to try the other classes, but I'm already halfway through Titan, so I guess I'll stick with Titan.
I've always been a hunter, so yo.
Yep.
But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I sidetracked it back to Destiny again.
I mean, we can continue talking Destiny. That's fine.
We'll just weave it in as we go along.
Yeah, we'll just keep going back to it. I've also been playing Knack 2 a little bit here and there. I enjoyed the first one enough.
Have you tried the co-op stuff?
No, I really want to, and that's the main reason I wanted it. But I haven't been able to convince Michelle to play with me yet. But I was really in the mood to play it, so I started playing it. I know she will, and she's just, I don't know, she doesn't want to play it right now. She's been playing Final Fantasy.
She gets to punch you and shotgun blast you and jump on you and all those fun things.
All right, there we go. No, I really like Knack. It's like playing a Pixar movie. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. I like the characters. I don't actually care for Knack as a character. I think he's kind of weird with his deep voice and while being all little. Like, it doesn't make any sense until he gets big. It's a little weird, but it's all good.
I don't know how much you played, but have you gotten the part where you can like shrink down super small? Have you gotten to that part yet and jump around?
Super small?
Yeah, like
smaller than normal.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten to that part yet?
I don't think so. I just unlocked like a charge
no spoilers.
Punch on the circle button, I guess.
I played a demo at PAX. I can talk about that in a bit, but
gotcha. Yeah, I had originally played the demo at the expo, but then
that's cool. Yeah, I never played the first one. I heard mixed things. It's super cheap.
I don't understand why the first one got such bad reviews.
I think people were maybe thinking more of expecting more for
I mean, this one feels like identical to me to the first one with maybe a little bit better controls and a fighting engine, but it's basically the same concept. Same game, looks the same, but the first game was getting awful scores. People were saying it was crashing. I never had any issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, from the little bit of the first one I played, it seemed like a fine game.
Yeah, I think they're both solid.
But you know how people are.
Yeah, I think they were just underwhelmed by it. They were expecting, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot or something. I think they were thinking this is going to be
the next platformer.
It kind of is like a 3D Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, just a little slower pace.
Well, I think they thought it was going to be like this was going to be the mascot for the system kind of thing, and it just didn't. No.
Well, now it's only a $40 game, which it is 100% worth $40.
Well, yeah, was the first one $50? It was cheaper, wasn't it? I thought it was.
No, it was a launch $59.
Yeah, was it? Wow. Okay, mm-hmm. I bought it, but I don't remember paying $59.
I did not buy it, but that game was actually really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was hard. I feel like it's harder than Knack 2, but maybe that's just because Knack 2 has better fighting.
I somehow now have a digital copy of it, and I don't know where I got it from.
All right.
Surprise!
Was it? I don't know. It wasn't a PS Plus game.
No, people have been waiting and hoping it would come to Plus, and they kept shooting it down.
I may have got it on the Sony site or something like that back when I was still on there, and I just don't remember getting it.
Yeah.
This happens with so many games. It's like I've got 100 and some games installed on my PS4. It's like, oh yeah, totally forgot I had that game.
I think that's the problem with Knack, is that it's not something that just really sticks out amongst a bunch of all these other games. Yeah. So it gets forgotten a little bit.
Yeah.
You were like, oh yeah, I forgot about that game. You know,
If you like platformers, it's for you. I'll say that. It's good. It's fun. It's a good diversion. Speaking of platformers, I've also been playing Sonic Mania on the Switch.
Yeah.
And just like everyone's already said about the game, it is the best 2D Sonic game that they have made, period. Full stop.
Years!
Just in general. Speaking of all the old Sonic games, this is definitely the best one.
Oh, I don't know. Those are fighting words.
Oh,
I do like Sonic 2 with
Yes.
Sonic attachments.
It is all the best parts of all the other Sonic games, and then gives you more.
It was definitely made with love from Sonic.
Yeah.
For Sonic.
For some reason, I liked Sonic Generations. I don't know why.
I didn't play Generations.
I played it. It was okay.
They
have
had
like the fat old Sonic, and they have like the skinny young Sonic. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Sonic Mania, but it's definitely better than a lot of the garbage we got on like the Wii and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sonic Mania is great, and the soundtrack is awesome.
Soundtrack's phenomenal. The art is great. The new animations are incredible.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of the game, though, is playing through the Sonic 3 styled minigames. Like the 3D going along the big spherical world, collecting the blue balls.
Yeah.
Definitely it brings me back to my childhood.
It's fun. Yeah, I enjoy it, but I'm like, yeah. I sucked at it now. I sucked at it then. I suck at it now.
Nah, man, I got all of them back in the day. I'm getting back in the swing of things. Got to die a few times to figure it out. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, you're not going to perfect it on the first try.
No.
That's cool. I mean, I love Sonic Mania. That was definitely a good purchase, and I think I've got. Oh, he's over there. I got the collector's edition with the big Sonic.
It'll definitely be something I finish.
Oh, you should have. Hang on. Let me.
Yeah, play it for me.
The little is it the Sonic, the Sega?
There it is. Oh god, it even sounds perfect.
It's a full Genesis. Oh, here, let me put my headset back on. Let me put my headset back on.
Now Robert wants that.
Yeah, see, I mean, it's a full size Genesis here. I mean,
man,
it's huge.
It's okay. I'll just call you up whenever I want to hear it.
Okay.
Oh,
God, make that noise with the Sonic Collector's Edition, please.
I'm glad I got it on the Switch. I think it feels best on that controller.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. However, the Switch version does have some issues, and that is there's a big delay, a very, very noticeable delay when you hit the home button. You think your system has frozen, and 1 out of 10 times it will freeze, and you'll have to shut off your entire system.
See, I've never had mine. I've never had mine freeze. I've hit the home button and keep playing, and then all of a sudden it just goes.
It did like this really weird half freeze where it wouldn't let me press any buttons, but I could touch the touch screen. But I couldn't like select anything. I could only like move the dial for like what it was being selected, but I couldn't confirm it. It was really weird. So I mean,
they could definitely probably fix that in like a patch or something.
Yeah, I'm sure
they haven't patched it at all yet on the Switch, though.
No, they haven't had any patches on the Switch yet, but they should be able to patch that out. It's probably just a memory thing or something. Who knows?
Sounds like you're overloading the resources, which is weird for a Sonic game.
Yeah. It's
very weird.
Yeah, I'd read online that was going to happen and to expect it when you hit the button, and sure enough, it does. But what's funny is I hit the home button, and I keep playing I can count to 5, and then all of a sudden it'll go. Boom.
Yeah, I was expecting it, but it still caught me off guard with how pronounced it was.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I haven't seen any major things, and to me, the graphics look just as good as they do on the PlayStation 4. Probably not as shiny, but
I haven't actually played it on the TV yet. I've only played it in handheld.
I haven't either. I've only played it in handheld mode. Yeah, it seems like all I ever do is just play it in handheld mode. I never come down here and put it on the TV. I don't know why.
I don't want to get up. It's already there.
Well, it's like I
lay on the couch.
It's like I get up and come downstairs and lay on the couch, or I can lay on the couch upstairs. So it's like I'm already upstairs. So. But yeah, it's
Michelle can keep watching whatever it is she's watching.
Yeah, we're usually watching something. So, but yeah, so all right, Nathaniel, we'll stay on the Switch and talk about Mario Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids. I know you've been playing that too. What do you think of that?
It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how far you are in. I'm like half through World 2, I think.
I haven't played it in about a week and a half or so, so I don't remember where I'm at.
I haven't played it in a while either, but that's where I kind of left off with it.
Yeah.
But that game seems like it's first is like, okay, this is fun, but it's super easy. That does not last that long. By the time you get to the first world, it's starting to get at least a little kind of like, okay, I have to think about what I'm doing here. And then in World 2, it's like, okay, I can fail now. Crap, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's
Especially
awesome.
The Toad escort missions where you have to move him around and keep him from dying. Those are the hardest so far.
Yeah, those are tough. And I wasn't going to buy the game, and then I started reading the reviews about it, and well, I saw the E3 thing like everybody did, and went, oh, it looks really cool. Everybody's super excited. Blah 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 blah. I'll wait on it. And then when I started reading reviews on it, I was like, okay, well maybe I'll pick this up. So.
Yeah, it was the same. They came out before the game came out, so I was still able to get the discount on it from Amazon.
Yeah. I think I just went to GameStop and picked it up is what I did. I took ARMS and took it back. I'm like, I'm not going to play ARMS anymore. I'm done with it. Thought I would play it more.
Most people's thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, well, I thought I would play ARMS more, but you know what? I got bored with it. So, but yeah, I really, really like it. And who would have known that? I mean, what's really cool about it is it feels like a Nintendo game. It feels like Nintendo made it, but Ubisoft made it. Nintendo just said, "Here's the characters. That's it."
You can tell the people in charge of making this game are love Mario and love Rabbids and wanted to do some cool weird thing with it, and they put as much love as they possibly could in there because the animations in the game are gorgeous. They're so detailed, so much personality, and there's like different ones. So like whenever you finish one of the battles. And they have the kind of like the victory screen. They're all doing like a little pose. They have a few different ones. You can use just the one, but they have several. And the stupid, goofy crap that the Rabbids do.
Doing, yeah.
And then all the cutscenes are really, really fun. It's oozing personality.
Yeah. And I'm not a Rabbids fan. I do not like any of the Rabbids games. I never cared for them. I didn't care for the characters or anything, but holy fright. Somebody said the other day, it's like, I'm not even picking up that Mario Rabbids game. I don't like the Rabbids. I'm like, pick it up. It doesn't matter if you like the Rabbids or not. Pick it up. I don't like it either, but it's a really fun game.
If you don't like the Rabbids, you get to shoot them in the face.
Exactly.
They're all the enemies that you're shooting in there. So, yeah, you've got a couple on your team, too, but once you unlock other characters later, you could have no Rabbids on your team, probably. I haven't gotten that many. I've gotten 4 total people that I've unlocked so far. I think there's 3 or 4 more slots that are still question marks.
Yeah, I can't remember how many I have, but yeah, it's such a fun game. It's totally worth it.
It's totally like XCOM, except for where XCOM is all about kind of finding a good piece of cover and spreading your people around to have, good positions. This is more about movement rather than just like, oh, I get here and then I'll shoot, because movement is actually part of how you cause damage, because you can dash people, and Mario can jump on people's heads once you unlock the ability, and the skill tree, because there's a skill tree in this game. It's just a lot more depth in this game than I was expecting. It's really cool, and there's the puzzles so far aren't that difficult. There's some that are like outside of combat stuff. It's kind of like, okay, just mess around with it a little bit and figure it out, but they're still fun to do. And then there's some stuff in there that's like, hey, you can't do this thing because you haven't unlocked this ability yet. So I'm sure there's fun secrets to go back and find.
Oh, yeah.
I've done, with World 1, I've gone back and gone through and done all of the challenges that you unlock once you finished them.
Yeah.
And I've also found most of the collectibles too from... The only thing I have to do is go back and replay the actual levels themselves to get the gold coins for the couple that I didn't, finish with everybody alive. But yeah, there's so much like replayability you can do for going back to levels. So you can play it with kind of your set as you were then, but you can also just go back and run straight through. You don't have the battles anymore, but that's where they put all the little challenges in there. Have you played any of those?
You know what? I think I've maybe done 1 or 2. Just to try them out.
Because they will get you 10 gold.
Oh, okay.
of it, but if you play a bunch of them, you'll still get at least a little bit of stuff as you go there, so you can unlock maybe another ability or two that you wouldn't have been able to get to if you hadn't gone back to do those.
Yeah.
And some of them are just really fun, like twists on how you have to go through a level. And I don't know, it's like, hey, do this in so many moves, that kind of stuff. And so they're all are fairly challenging mostly, and there's more like a puzzle than the normal battle levels are, because it's thinking about, okay, how can I do this in a limited amount of moves, or using just this one thing that it tells me I have to do, Yeah. So they're pretty fun and a little bit different than just thinking about it one way of defeat everyone,
All right. Yeah, I mean, if you like XCOM, then you would love this game.
Yeah, it's kind of like cartoony XCOM, where you can also slide tackle people and jump on their heads.
Yeah, once I learned that move, it's like every time that I go to line up my guys, I'm like, okay, how can I get them in a position that I can run right by them and throw them in the air while I'm...
I mean, it's worth doing, because whenever you do one of those movement things, you get extra movement. It's not, say, XCOM is you have so many spaces that you can move, and that's it, no matter what weird other thing you're doing. This is, okay, if you run over here and you slide tackle a guy, then you have this whole range that you can still keep going through. And then you can use one of your buddies to jump off of them, and that'll make you go, you have further range you can get than just running on your foot. And then you can go over here, and then you can enter a pipe, and then you can keep going. So if you chain all that, you can have a lot more mobility than if you're just like, okay, move here, and then there. So if you take advantage of that, you can defeat the enemies a lot better than if you're just like trying to play it straight like XCOM and move here and just shoot them. Because you cause extra damage, and you can up that damage in your skill tree of how much when you slide tackle and how much it causes. So you can have all of your guys just gang up on one guy and slide tackle them all and shoot them, and you can just like take them down a whole lot quicker than if you're just doing, one ability at a time. So it's really fun how they've kind of layered everything together.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I love it. And that's all I've played is Destiny and that. That's the only two games I played. So
it's a whole lot harder even than in World 2. Like World 3 is apparently even harder than that by a lot. See when I get there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So,
but even if it gets so hard that I can't finish it, I don't know. It's still been worth it. What I've played so yeah, it's a really cool game.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I really liked XCOM, so that's pretty much sells it for me, which means I need to pick it up.
Oh yeah. If you like XCOM, you need to pick it up. And by the way, Eric won a flippin' Switch.
What?
I did at PAX. We can talk about it in a bit.
All right, go ahead, Nathaniel. What else you been playing?
Since we recorded last, I finished Prey. Didn't have after the last time we recorded. It has a pretty cool ending.
Pretty cool ending? All right. That's from what I've heard and stuff, I definitely got to play it. And I got a copy sitting over there from GameFly. So it's on my list.
Cool story if you dig into all the like different side missions and stuff throughout the game, which I did. And then the ending has an interesting setup for if they ever wanted to do a sequel. It would probably change things up a little bit. Would be awesome. But we'll see if they ever get to make one, or if they even want to make another one. Who knows? We'll see. But this one was really good. It was a lot of fun. I played, since it finally came out of early access and is full release this week, I played a couple hours of Divinity Original Sin 2. And it plays so far just like the first one. I haven't really gotten far enough in it to really get any differences, but it's still got the same kind of humor in the writing and all that. So it's a really cool game.
Cool. I've heard good things.
Yeah. But mostly what I've been doing is because of PAX, they had a panel that was all about The Witcher and talking to a lot of the few of the developers there and stuff. And I was like, use that as an excuse to boot it up again. And so I played a whole bunch of the expansion stuff. So I finished Hearts of Stone, which I had already started a little bit of that the last time I had played, whenever it was.
Perfect.
And that was a cool story. There's some fun stuff in there. I really liked that, though, because it brought back Shani, who was a character in the first game that hadn't been in there since then, so it's kind of cool to see that character again. Cool. And then just the way that the story goes with that is like, oh yeah, I remember you from the first game. That's awesome. And then the Blood and Wine, I've played quite a lot of that, and that is really awesome.
It's pretty long.
It's so good though, because the map that you go to is a lot more fairy tale sort of setup. We have like knights in armor riding around. And it's just a lot more kind of colorful because you have, I don't know if it's supposed to be set during the fall or not, but it just seems a lot of the trees have more colors in them and stuff than kind of the main parts of the but let's see, what was it? There's like really cool missions. I just did through a whole set of missions where you're helping a knight. You have to take his place in the tourney that they're having, and so you have a whole bunch of different stuff surrounding that, and that was really fun. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of the main story yet because I've been holding off because I'm like, ooh, I want to explore because I have a map that I haven't been on yet, so I can actually do some exploring in this game again, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So I've been just kind of running around the map trying to find stuff. I haven't gotten to use. They have added some kind of mutation stuff to the leveling in there with that expansion that I didn't have enough levels to do it once I discovered it. So I was like, well, we'll dig into that later. But I've got a house that I'm like expanding, kind of like how Zelda has a house that you get, and then you can buy things to improve it. Kind of does the same thing. But this one, it gives you bonuses. So it's like when you unlock stuff, if you sleep in your bed, extra bonuses for some more vitality and different things. If you unlock other stuff, it gives you more bonuses to it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I need to get back into that game.
Lots of things that gives you an actual reason to do it.
Yeah. Like I always said, that was one of the only games I played in the last couple of years where I just could not put it down. And when I did put it down to play other games, I just wanted to go back to it.
Yeah, this is
bored itself into my brain.
Yeah, it definitely brought back the obsessiveness that I was playing it when it first came out. So it was just kind of, I needed to get the ball rolling enough to get into it and remember, okay, here's how the controls work. And once you get past, I got past that, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to play.
Yeah.
Should have played it sooner.
Yeah.
I had to laugh because they put in one of their, like, some of the side quests are more comedic in even the base game.
Yeah.
But this one had one where their excuse for it, probably when they were pitching it, was, we get to make as many testicle puns as we possibly can in this side quest. Tracking down, there's this big famous statue that the testicles have been stolen from. You have to track down who stole them.
Oh, lovely.
Fun quest. I love. There's another one that was kind of annoying, where somebody supposedly had given you a bunch of money that you had to go to the bank to get it because they put it in an account in your name, but you had to go and keep getting shuffled around the bank because you have to keep getting different kinds of paperwork, supposedly. But it turns out they're giving you the runaround because they spent your money because they thought you were dead. It's like, just goofy little like twists on side quests like that are kind of fun to do.
Yeah, that would be.
That game's great. I wish there was more of it, but I still have a little bit to finish, but when I'm done, I'm going to be kind of sad. That's probably why I've delayed playing it so much. I was like, finish, it'll be done. Maybe if I stretch it out long enough, it won't be too far until their next game comes out, whenever that may.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see. They still haven't said anything other than they've been working on it for years, but if it's going to be as big as Witcher 3, it's going to take them years to make it.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Oh yeah, that's all you've been playing. Yeah, sure is. Okay, cool. Well, Eric, what have you been playing, dude?
I'm up. Well, besides the ton of stuff I played at PAX, I played the same stuff I played last time, pretty much. More Diablo 3 on PS4, more GTA 5 online, more Dying Light. We played some Dying Light about a week ago with some of my buddies, so it's good to get back in there. And that's pretty cool. They've forgotten, like with the expansion, there's, all the DLC and stuff, and you drive around a buggy, and there's all sorts of cool missions. There's also these, like, rare zombie monsters you can fight. They're supposed to be, like, boss battles that are designed for more than one person, so that was pretty cool to work with them to take down that stuff. I did play Pokemon X when I was at PAX just a little bit, and then when I came back home, I played it a lot, and I'm like, it was one of the Club Nintendo games from like 2013, right? 2012? A while ago, right?
Maybe. I don't remember. I had owned it when it came to Club Nintendo, so I didn't pick it up.
And I was like, I don't remember why I didn't like this. I was like, is it because the towns are kind of in 3D, but everything else is pretty much 2D? And I don't know. I started playing. I was like, oh yeah. So,
I played the crap out of it. That was
it's the
actually
Pokemans, and it's fun. It's very addicting.
That's one of the Pokemon games I actually finished in recent years. But I think I played Y, not X. But either way, same game.
Yeah.
So.
I have almost finished Blue back in the day on an emulator. I think I made it to the very end. But other than that, I've never finished any of them. I've dabbled. I played White for a little bit. I played like Black 2. I played Heart Gold, but I never played more than like a few hours, and then I got distracted by other stuff.
I had finished them on the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy, but I had never finished any of them when they came to the DS. So for some reason, X was the one that just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just played the crap out of
good.
it. It was good.
It's easy to play. It's easy to put in a couple of hours without even thinking.
Yeah. It's like I bought the Metroid game, and I have yet to play. I played just the beginning of it just to go, yep, this is awesome. Let me set it down and go finish doing other things, because if I don't, I'm never going to play anything but Metroid.
Yeah. I'm interested in the Metroid game. I was reading everything about it and stuff. I was like, man, that'd be perfect. As someone who's never played, I dabbled in Super Metroid just a little bit, but I've never played really any of the other games. But it looks cool.
I've got Metroid on the NES, Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, Super Metroid on the... I think I've got all the Metroid games, actually. I think I've got them all on the Wii. I think the only one I'm missing is Zero Mission from Game Boy Advance. I don't have that one. I've got Fusion. I think I've got all of them. I don't have the DS ones.
If you have, you can just throw it away.
Yeah,
just throw it away.
I've got the demo that came with the original DS. When I bought it, and that was enough for me. It was like, I'm not buying the game when it comes out.
That's the taste I need.
Yeah. I do not have pinball either. So.
Not too much. I didn't play any of my other 3DS games, which is surprisingly, because whenever I go to PAX, I always have time, to play stuff. But it just didn't really work out.
Yeah, it is what it is sometimes. So, all right, well, we'll get in the news real quick because we got a little bit to talk about, not a ton. Then at the end of the show, we'll talk about what you saw at PAX, and Robert had the Gamestop. I don't know what they called that thing.
Gamestop convention.
The Expo.
Expo. Yes, the Stark. He went to the Stark Expo and he saw all the latest cool tech stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, like I said, just got a couple of stories. Nothing real huge. Nothing real big. Bethesda has an unannounced game that's due out in 2017. They still haven't said what it is. They dropped that bomb the other day on VG 24/7. Makes me wonder what it could be. Is it?
I thought that I saw somewhere, it's not in this IGN thing, but I thought that he had walked this back on his Twitter account. Like,
did he?
I was thinking something different, whatever.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Just all too gung-ho about it, and he wasn't supposed to say something, or he did just make a mistake because they have so many things coming out already. Having another game that you haven't announced yet that's supposed to be out by the end of this year means it's
it's kind of close.
Yeah, really. Well, and that's what everybody's like, what could it be? Is this a brand new IP? Is it another this or that? Or is it, but I didn't.
It's a remake.
I didn't see where he had walked it back, so I had no idea.
I thought I'd seen that. I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's not in this IGN thing that we have in the show notes, so I might be mistaken.
Maybe.
But yeah, it seems weird regardless. It's like, okay, you really have something else you haven't announced yet, and it's September? Like, okay.
It's a mobile game.
Probably. It can't be anything huge, otherwise they would have said something by now.
Well, and that's like the Dishonored thing that came out last week or this week, or no, it was Friday, wasn't it?
Came out Friday.
Was that an expansion or a full game?
It was a standalone expansion like Uncharted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had never heard anything about it. I didn't get
really.
They didn't send me any PR emails about it. I get PR emails from them. I was like,
it was $30, I think.
I only knew it was coming because I saw it on the upcoming releases.
I'll probably get it, but I'm gonna wait for it to go on.
I heard about it, but it wasn't very long before it came out, like maybe a month before or something like that. They definitely weren't like pushing it at E3 or anything like that.
It was weird because my buddy was like, I was like, hey man, Metroid's coming out today. You getting it? Yeah, and I'm getting Dishonored as well. I'm like, Dishonored? There's a Dishonored? What? It's weird.
Yeah. Play as a character who has been in the previous two games.
Yeah.
Well, technically the DLC for the first one, but you're not playing as Corvo or Emily. And it's supposed to sort of tie everything up so far, and that we've had kind of this storyline, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent, but
Death of the Outsider. I was kind of, I was thinking this would probably be is this going to be the only piece of DLC for it? Do you know?
It's
Death of the Outsider is a standalone thing.
Okay, so in theory they could come out more.
Oh yeah. Well, sure.
You've said that this is the end of this series as far as they go. Now they could probably keep the name and do something else in the universe, but as far as all this batch of characters and everything, it's over.
Gotcha.
That's what they have been saying the most about this. It seems like no, guys, this is the end. Done.
I don't think we'll see it again for a long time.
Yeah, I was looking at a review, and it seems that they made, without doing too many spoilers, but it sounds like they made it with the character with Billy, make it a little bit easier to play. You don't have to worry about like upgrading or anything like that, or you just get everything pretty much straight up, and you're good to go.
Upgrades, but you only have a smaller bank of powers this time. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that this is great. I really, really like the series, but I would also think, hey, what else can they do? Because they're talented. If they could come up with this universe for Dishonored, what else can they come up with?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, it's sold well and it reviewed well, so I can't see them abandoning it, forever. This is the last game ever. I don't see that, but
who knows what happens next?
They've got their toes in so much right now that
they just put out
toes and lots of pie.
What'd you say, Nathaniel?
They just did Prey this year.
Yeah.
So they could move on to that, and maybe that's where creatively the studio wants to go. Like, ooh, we have more ideas for this universe. We've kind of said what we wanted to say with Dishonored, so we're kind of done with it. Now, that does not to say that Bethesda wouldn't put another studio on it to keep the brand, or just like wait several years and then bring it back. Who knows? But for right now, Dishonored is gone.
That's okay. Yeah. Speaking of games that came out in 2011, LA Noire is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4. They're bringing out a VR edition, and it's coming out on the Switch. It's one of my games that I really like. I like LA Noire. I've played it a bunch. I was really wanting to play it again on the Switch. I don't think I'm going to, because it's going to cost like $50 on the Switch.
Ooh. This is one that I had wanted to play back in the day, and I just never got to, and I never thought I would get to it, but this has given me that second chance, so I think I am definitely going to play it. I don't know where I want to play it, though. Switch seems like it would be where I'd want to play, but if the PS4 version is going to be cheaper, then I'll probably do that.
Well, go ahead, Nathaniel, sorry.
I was going to say, I highly doubt that they've put tons of work into making it look any better. I'm sure it's pretty much a straight port, so I doubt that the PlayStation 1 will look that much better than the Switch.
Probably not.
I don't even care about how it looks.
The technology they did with the faces in that game, you can't really up-res that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but I guess we'll find out when it comes out. But I would just guessing that Rockstar didn't put that much into LA Noire. They're going to say, all right, can we cheaply put this out and make some money? Awesome. Let's move back to GTA and Red Dead.
Yeah. The story in LA Noire is really, really good. I loved it. But I love period, I've said it before on here. I love period pieces, and it's definitely a period piece. It's really, really cool. I would like to try it on the Switch. I just don't know if I want to pay $50 for it again. You can buy it digitally, and it's $40. And I think it's $40 on all the other systems. There's a rumor going around that the reason Switch games that are cheaper digital than they are cart is because of they're calling it the Nintendo tax. The $10 extra because it's on an actual cartridge. They say if it was on a disc, it would have been cheaper. I don't know if I buy into that or not, but
yeah, there's plenty of other games that aren't doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if I was going to play LA Noire, I would get and I had a Vive headset, I would get the VR version of it. I would really like to play that in VR.
The problem with the VR one is it's not
it's
the
a
full
different
game.
No, it's not. It's different. But I would like to play that in VR. I think that would be really, really cool to play in VR. I'm surprised that one's not coming out on PS4. A lot of these VR games are not coming out on PS4, that they're coming out on PC. I guess
thought it is coming out on PS4 VR.
I don't think so. Let me look at the article again, but I don't think it is it? Let me hang on. VR case files, will they also release it for the HTC Vive headset? Doesn't say anything about PS4.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but there's a lot of VR games that would really, really be cool on the PlayStation 4 that are not coming out on the PlayStation 4 for whatever reason. We were talking a lot about Destiny and a lot of people playing it. 1.2 million concurrent players were online on Destiny 2. That is a lot of people on at one time. That was launch day, so...
just a few.
Yeah, just a few. And you know what?
People are interested.
I had no trouble with server issues, getting online and playing.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been kicked. It's been, I think, one of the smoothest launches I've ever seen of an online game.
Yeah, I didn't play the first night. I played the second night. No queue, no nothing. I hadn't been kicked. I was kicked one time, but that's because they were about to do server maintenance.
Oh, okay.
At about 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that I understand, because that happens a lot. So, that's no big deal. Yeah.
Definitely the biggest amount of people at once of a game I've seen this year, other than PUBG, because that game grows and grows and grows.
That thing has really took off.
Hey, that guy, he hit it just the right time, putting that out, because it's gotten more and more popular as the years gone on.
Yeah, it's crazy. I put this in the show notes. I thought it was kind of interesting. Xbox One games soon may not require full downloads to play to save hard drive space. This is pretty cool, because a lot of the reason I put this in the show notes is because when the Xbox One X was announced, there was a story going around that if you wanted to, even though you didn't have a 4K television or anything like that, you still had to download the 4K assets. It was all one thing. Now, according to this, you do not have to download, the rumor is you will not have to download the 4K assets. Let's say you buy Call of Duty World War II and you are not interested in the online and you buy it digitally, you do not have to download the multiplayer for it. You can just download the single player. I kind of like that, to be able to download the chunks, because, one, if I'm not going to play the online part of a game, why waste if it's 15 gigs of space, why download that if I don't need it?
I mean, if you have kind of caps on your internet, this would be a really good thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a really good thing for people who don't have a huge hard drive in their system. I mean, I've got a 3 terabyte external hard drive plus a terabyte and a half built into my PS4, so, and I don't even have anything on that terabyte and a half other than a strange 30 gigs of stuff that says other, and I can't delete it, and I don't know what it is.
Other. Are they the photos for your trophies?
Nope. I don't keep any of the photos for trophies. And there's nothing on that hard drive but 5 gigs of saves and 30 gigs of other. And I have no idea what it is. I don't know what it is. I can't delete it. I can't do anything with it. What's that?
What if you pulled the drive out, format it with the PC? Well, it's still going to just recreate that
it's going to reformat it. The only thing I haven't tried is unplugging the external and reformatting the PlayStation 4. And in theory, I should just be able to plug the external back in, and everything will be all right. But I mean, really, it's 30 gigs on a terabyte and a half hard drive that has nothing on it anyway. It's just more of a sticks in my crawl than if I was using that terabyte hard drive for nothing or more than saves, then it would aggravate me, because that's 30 gigs of space just with nothing in it. But anyway, I think this is really cool, and for people who don't want to download, all these assets and stuff that they really don't need. Language packs, that's another thing. You wouldn't have to download all these different language packs. They wouldn't have to make it mandatory. And it's just space taken up on a hard drive that you don't need. So, but I know a lot of people were really upset about the 4K thing if you didn't have a 4K TV. So this kind of puts that to rest. The other thing that I thought was kind of interesting down about almost at the end of the article said the new system also reopens the door for games with multiple discs, with essential data on the disc one and additional or optional data on subsequent discs. Right now, Microsoft is offering the option for 2 discs mastering, but the technology allows up to 15 discs of content.
Why? It sounds awful.
Well, you see, a single-sided Blu-ray disc is 25 gigs.
Right.
You get a dual layer for 50, and at 15 discs, oh my gosh. Nobody's going to do that, though.
It's a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah.
RPGs that were early in the 360 life, and then a couple others were the only multi-disc kind of games that I can remember.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah. Lost Odyssey was 4. I have a couple of Blue Dragon was 3. I have a couple of them over on the shelf that was 3 or 4 discs. But I didn't realize that Microsoft didn't allow multi-discs, multi-Blu-ray discs. I had no idea. I'm guessing that's probably the reason why there's a lot of downloads on there. But it's kind of cool though that a developer could say, okay, we're going to put this on this disc and this on that disc, and if you don't want to play that, you don't have to download this part of the disc. Just save it, and you can do it later. So save everybody some hard drive space if you're having issues with it. Nintendo announced that they will be stocking more of the Super NES Classic Editions, and they are returning to the NES Classic Edition in 2018. So all you guys out there who's thinking about paying $150 for one, just hang on till next year. Don't do it. Don't pay these scalper prices for this crap. The one thing is...
I'm so happy that my last day in video game retail is on SNES Day.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, they
going out with a bang.
They said that they are pushing plans for the Super NES on into 2018, so they are going to produce more of them past the end of the year, which is good. I don't think it's going to be hard to get one this time around. You just may not be able to get it on launch day.
Yeah,
but
you might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, you may have to wait a couple of days, but I think everybody's going to be fine. And it is cool that they're going back and reproducing the NES classics. It's just money they left on the table. I mean, I don't know why they stopped it in the first place. But hopefully they'll do something different, so the first run of them will be worth more money, and then everybody will want them.
They'll change the color of it. It'll be black this time.
They'll put 2 controllers in it instead of 1. Or
yeah,
they'll make
pay more for the version that doesn't come with an extra controller.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see them make longer cords for it. That was a big gripe that people didn't like.
They had those extensions though, $10, man.
Yeah. What'd you say, Nathaniel?
The SNES one's supposed to have longer cords.
Yeah, I mean the NES one. I would like to see them make that longer.
This one, I think they reissued, they would make longer cords on it because it's not that hard to cut the cord slightly longer.
I would think.
I saw the Super Famicom version was available from Amazon France today, but with the conversion, it was like $105. I was like,
I canceled. I still had mine on pre-order in the UK. I canceled that one since my Best Buy one. I waited for a little while to make sure the Best Buy one was actually going to go through, that it wasn't going to be some crazy cancellation thing. So
mine will be coming.
Yeah, so this will be the first thing I've ordered from Best Buy in a long time, so fingers crossed that they get it right, because usually every time I get crap in the mail from them,
they
it's
always
usually
cancel it.
Smashed.
It's smashed, and it's not smashed by like UPS. It's smashed like in the warehouse. It comes. It's like, so if it comes smashed, I'm going to punch somebody in the face because I don't want it tore up. Because it's not like I'm going to play it. It's going to sit on my shelf and look nice, so I want it to look good.
In the box.
Dealing with Best Buy's customer service on the phone or in the store is definitely not the easiest experience, and that's me putting it nicely on using appropriate family-friendly words.
Right. I totally get that.
Yeah, I mean, you get something from Target.com, ends up being, a problem. Take it back to Target.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
I've ordered, I ordered the Target exclusive Destiny figure the other day. I got Wonder Woman coming tomorrow, and I got Guardians of the Galaxy from them through the mail with a red card, free shipping, just tax. I didn't have to pay. It was free shipping. I got my 5% off, and I didn't have to drive 45 miles to Target. They just sent it right to the house. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like Spinner says, crapshoot ordering collector's editions online. You ain't kidding. I mean, my collector's edition of Sonic, it came from Amazon. It was in a nice big box. It was really packed real well, but the cartridge actually popped out in the box. It was just snapped in plastic. It wasn't taped in there or fastened in there in any way, shape, or form. So I get a box and I just hear the cart rattling around, hitting that statue in there. I'm like, I'm going to open this up and it's going to be broke. It wasn't, but it's like, man, sometimes just pre-ordering and going to get it in the store is a better thing. So, well, I don't know. I've had good luck with GameStop too. I used GameStop to get Destiny Collector's Edition. It was here launch day early.
Yep, and if there's any problem, you take it to your local GameStop, and they pretty much take care of it.
Pretty much.
Same thing with me. I bought retro games. 80% of the time, they come perfectly fine. A couple times come beat up, won't play. Take them to local GameStop, get taken care of, no problem.
Yeah.
Happy to help me.
Yeah, so, and I know enough people at GameStop, if I have a problem, they'll help me. So.
You do.
I do. So, anyway.
It helps to be nice.
It does. It helps to be very nice, doesn't it? All right, so the last thing, I'm not going to go deep into it, but there was a Nintendo Direct. It was about 45 minutes. It was a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which comes out December 1st. That's crazy. So there's another big game coming out December 1st, or this year, for the Switch. They did announce Doom and Wolfenstein 2. Doom will be out by Christmas. Wolfenstein 2 will be out sometime next year. They haven't said which. There's a new 2D XL coming out. The Pokemon one that looks like a Pokeball is pretty cool. There's Minecraft on the 3DS now, which is kind of weird. I figured it had been out a long time ago.
New 3DS.
New 3DS.
The Doom will be interesting. That'll be. I'm kind of interested in that, even though I already own it.
Have you seen the graphics comparison on that?
That's exactly what I was just getting ready to say. What did you say, Nathaniel, before we talk?
I was going to say, the little bit of footage from Doom that they showed looked like about how much you would have to downgrade it to get it to run on Switch, but it looked all right.
It still looks pretty good.
I thought
it looks really good. It barely looks any different.
I mean, if you look at it on the small screen in handheld mode, that'd be a pretty cool way to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm talking the difference of like a
Wolfenstein.
dark shadow and a light shadow.
Yeah, maybe I'll cancel my pre-order for PS4 and just wait for it to get out on Switch.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I've done that with a lot of the games. So
The only thing I'd be curious is to see when reviews come out how well Doom runs on Switch.
yeah.
Thing that you really need on that kind of a game is it needs to run well.
It can get pretty intense. I mean,
I have
throw a lot of stuff at you.
I have to look. There was a guy on Twitter that actually posted they had it there for play, and he actually posted it playing with. He recorded it with his phone. I'll have to find that and share it with you, and you could kind of see how it was running.
Yeah,
on
that'd
it.
be cool.
If he wasn't sure if he had to take it down. He didn't know if there was like an NDA on it or not, so it may not be up anymore. So Nintendo may have had him take it down. Let's see what else. Arcade Archives is coming to the Switch. These are arcade versions of the Nintendo games. The only one that I'm interested in is Punch Out because I want to be able to set. That was a game that was on a screen that was sideways. It was like this. It wasn't this way. It was long ways. So I want to be able to take my Switch and set it up on its side and get that full vertical thing. Other than that, there wasn't too much. They talked about the new Mario game coming out, of course, in November. Skyrim. Yeah, they announced the bundle with the game digital.
So, yeah, that's weird that it's digital.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of strange. I like the
carrying case in there. You figured you'd have the physical game in there too.
Yeah, you would with the carrying case and the cool red Joy-Cons. They looked pretty neat. I can't tell if I think they're a different red. The red, they're a different red than the red and blue ones, I think, if I remember right. But yeah, I mean, of all the news that I was happy with out of that was Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Collector's Edition. I pre-ordered it at GameStop. It'll be here the day it comes out, and I'll play it eventually.
And they spent way too much time on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, even though it's kind of like, okay, here's the game, here's another part of the thing, and we're setting all this stuff up. It's interesting, but they could have shortened it a lot.
Yeah, they really could have. It was pretty long.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I was going to include this news in, and I didn't. The Nintendo Switch has an NES emulator built into it. Somebody was data mined it and found that it had it and a copy of NES Golf on there. I'm pretty sure it's just we should have known it was there. They're doing Virtual Console eventually, so I'm sure it's already in.
Well, the cool thing of note here is it's been altered slightly to enable the motion controls of the Joy-Con to swing the golf club.
Yeah.
So it's an enhanced emulator.
Yeah, and I kind of figured it would probably end up being that way with the Switch. They're not that they're pushing the motion controls again, but I figure they would have that option in there. But anyway, it's cool that it's eventually coming. I just wish they'd hurry up and say when they're going to announce it. There's a lot of people that's wanting to know when that Virtual Console is going to launch. When the arcade thing came out, everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Virtual Console! Oh, wait, it's arcade."
Virtual Console will come when they're done putting out the classic editions.
Yep.
I mean, if they had the Virtual Console, they might not sell as many of those things because, yeah, it does look cool, but I could just play it on my Switch. I think that's probably why they haven't put it out yet.
You're probably right, and if they hadn't have went back and said we're doing the NES Classic again in 2018, they may have done it sooner. But now that they're going back and doing it again, I think it's going to be even longer before we see it.
I also think that if they just try to do it piecemeal again, then people are going to get jumped down their throats for it. They got to put out a whole bunch of stuff at once from all different systems, not just be like, okay, here's some NES stuff.
Right.
Here's more NES. Okay, now we're going to put out a little SNES stuff in here too. Now they got to put out a lot more at once.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do what everybody's hoping they do and put out GameCube. I could dig that. So, all right. Now, Eric, you were at PAX, so talk about what you saw at PAX real quick.
Ooh, I have a lot, but we'll keep it relatively short. I mean, what do you want to know? You want to know what I played or what I saw, or a quick rundown?
Well, just give us a quick rundown of everything that what you
right,
played, what you saw, what stood out, what.
Yeah, so I haven't been to PAX West in a couple of years. I've had stuff going on, so. But this year I went. The first thing I noticed was it was a lot more family friendly. I saw a lot of little kids running around, ages 3 and older, which was pretty surprising because the last couple of years I'd gone, I didn't see that many kids. I mean, I saw teenagers, but not. So that was kind of interesting. 4 days is too much. I only went to 3, and no one wanted. And I sold my Monday pass super cheap. But that's beside the point.
Is it normally 4 days?
It's normally
3.
And they just announced they're making East. No, it's been 4 for 3 or 4 years now.
Has it? Okay, I can never remember.
And they're making East 4 years. That was their big announcement.
Ugh.
Yeah, 3. After 2.5, I just want to lay down and collapse.
4 years. 4 years in March/April in Boston. That's dangerous. I mean, that is really dangerous.
4 days. Blizzard conditions.
What did you go say, Nathaniel?
Days to have people get in there. It's not that they expect everyone to go for all 4 days. It's so that some people really there's just more time to spread out all those people.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hit up some stuff I played. I played Dishonored 2 DLC. That was pretty cool. I was happy to stand in line for about an hour to play that. The longest line I waited in was an hour and a half to play Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. That was pretty cool. Bethesda had a pretty cool setup there, and it looks good, plays well. It's more Wolfenstein. Yeah. I played Dead Rising 4 at Capcom's booth, the new one that's coming out to PS4. I shouldn't say new, remastered.
Right.
It's looks and plays good. I've not really played much of Dead Rising, so I had to figure out the controls. But I enjoy smashing zombies with weapons and
you get to build your own weapons and stuff like that, which is always a cool addition to a zombie. It includes
all the DLC, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I played the new Lego Marvel game at WB. That was neat.
Oh, okay.
So I talked about this before on the show a while ago. I didn't really like the original Lego Marvel game because I didn't like the flight controls. But for this one, the flight controls are way better. They seem to have fixed it. So
I'm going to get that one on the Switch.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Lots of kids are playing that. I could tell that it's the kind of game that you could easily play with somebody younger. So that was pretty cool. I played Knack 2 at Sony. There was no line. Slid up, played next. So that was pretty cool. It looked good. I asked the guy, when's this coming out? And he's like, pretty soon. Like, oh yeah. He's like, I think next week. So, but it was. I played the co-op mode. That was pretty cool. You could punch the other Knack character, and he would like shotgun blast out, or you could like ground pound him, and he would explode out. And there's some other cool moves, some power ups. Looked pretty fun. Good times for co-op.
Cool.
Let's see. I played Hot Lava. Nathaniel, are you familiar with that at all? It's like a FPS parkour game. It's an indie game. Pretty much all you have to do is just jump around and not touch the floor. It looks pretty good. It was just in the indie section. Nobody was playing it, so I stopped by. Let's see. I played DBZ Dragon Ball Z Fighters at Microsoft. There was no line. Was pretty short. I liked it. I'm not much of a Dragon Ball Z guy. I would say it plays a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Swap out fighters on the fly. Pretty easy to do moves.
Yeah.
Looks really, really good. So people are pretty excited. Let's see. I played the Elder Scrolls card game a little bit. It's just like Hearthstone. I'm not very good at it.
I have yet to download that game.
I played Elder Scrolls Online as well. Again, reminds me of WoW. So I played Divinity Original Sin 2. That was pretty cool. The line for that wasn't too bad, maybe a half an hour, and that was interesting because they were taking people in teams of 1, 2, or 4 for the co-op play, and since I was by myself, they're like, yeah, man, come on. I got to play right away. That was pretty good. I liked all the classes and stuff. Looks like there's a lot of options. Looks very fun. Played for 20 minutes. I blew a bunch of stuff up and killed the people I was co-oping with. Well, they're in my party, and I don't think they'd played before, so they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I played some indie stuff. Some stuff that really stood out was this game called God Trigger. It was upstairs. PAX, pretty big convention center. Upstairs on the 6th floor, where they stick a lot of the indie people, smaller game companies. It's from Techland, guys behind Dying Light. It is a co-op game that's like Hotline Miami with more modern graphics, so it doesn't have the retro pixel thing. It's pretty fun. The developer was there and he talked a little bit, and then he had to leave, but it was pretty cool to play that. And the most interesting thing I played at PAX West, the most unique thing was I played Tennis for Two on an oscillating scope or oscilloscope. I'm not quite certain how you pronounce it, but Tennis for Two is an old, very, very old game developed in the late 60s. So they had this they had the Living Computer Museum there. And they had a booth and they were talking about stuff. And you can Google them. They have a lot of cool events in Seattle, and they're about like preserving history. They have if you're familiar with computer history, they have a Lisa there at their other museum and things like that, which is one of the first Apple computers.
Yeah. I was going to say, they have a whole, like, pop culture museum there, too, or something.
Yeah, Yeah, and they have the EMP. I think it's called something else now. It's all about music, and they have the science fiction museum, which is pretty neat, too. Those are two things. I played... Nintendo had a big indie section, so I got into that. There was 2 ways to get into that. You can use your Nintendo ID, check in, and they put you in the queue system, and so you come back at like 10 o'clock, and you're good to go. Or wait in line for 3 hours. I did the queue.
Yeah.
So I got in. I played... I watched my friend play Kentucky Route Zero, which is kind of like an adventure game. It didn't look very interesting to me. But it looks good. It looks like fun, but not for me.
What'd you say, Nathaniel?
I'm excited that they're finally going to get the final episode out, because that game has been around for years. It's been
I knew somebody knew something about it. I played 9 Parchments, which was like a modern day Gauntlet with magic users. That was kind of cool. You could beat up on players and stuff. That was interesting. I played Hunt Down. I had played that at East before. It's like a 2D platformer Blade Runner kind of inspired game. That's the best way to describe it. You get to kill things. Yeah. So, and I played Wolverbeat. Or what's it called? Hang on. Oh, sorry. Wolverblade. It's an interesting... It's a 2D sort of beat 'em up around like Scottish history. So that's pretty, think of like Braveheart maybe is the best way to describe it. And it's got big sprites, big characters, lots of fun weapons.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I played a lot of stuff. A couple things I saw that I didn't play. A couple things in the indie section. I saw Dunk Lord. It's like a NBA Jam style game with like power up moves and RPG elements. That was cool, but the line was crazy.
Huh.
I saw Mutant League Football. That looked pretty good. A couple people were playing that. Let's see. I saw a little bit of Shadows of War, but I didn't want to wait in line to play it. It was pretty bad. Saw a little bit of Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good too. Let's see. I want to play Secret of Mana. Didn't work out. They had it at a lot of different places, but it's just too crazy. They had Bethesda was there with their VR stuff. They had like Doom VR and Fallout VR, but the line was over 3.5 hours.
Oh,
wow.
You want to stand that long line and play. They had Gran Turismo VR too, and my buddy played the regular version. Sony was using like a Q System 2, and I missed out on all of that. I kind of wanted to play Detroit, but I didn't get a chance to. It only opened up for a brief window, and then I didn't want to spend the whole time hanging out there. Yeah. I walked through Tiny Build's booth, didn't stop and play anything. They looked like they were doing some pretty fun stuff. Let's see. I went to a couple panels, just a couple fun panels, but I went to Gearbox's panel. They talked about them being a publisher. They talked about new Battleborn DLC, and then they gave it to everybody, which is Borderlands characters. And then, of course, you guys saw the announcement today that game is quietly sort of going away, being put off on the side. So it's like,
I'm surprised it's lasted this long.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, Gearbox's panels are interesting, and they usually give something out. They usually give a game or a season pass. So there's usually something involved, and they're pretty interesting. You know, Randy Pitchford goes up there, does some magic tricks. He usually brings out some guests. They had a guy up there playing Desert Bus the entire time in VR, so that was pretty funny. Just sitting there playing. I went to the Shadows of War. They had a party, actually, after hours. And I went to that. They had free alcohol, free food. It wasn't super busy. Picked up a few like lanyards and stuff, and had a little bit to eat, and watched a few people play the game. It looks really good. Yeah. So if you like the first game, I highly recommend it. I didn't get a chance to go to the Witcher panel. Missed out on a really cool adult coloring book and a cool T-shirt and all the fun stuff they talked about. Yeah, that's pretty much it, except for a couple other things. I tried to go to Nintendo's booth, but it was very, very packed. Everybody wanted to play Mario.
I'm sure Mario was the game.
But it was pretty cool. After you played their indie games, they gave you a little punch card, and if you got it punched in one other place, they gave you that poster, which I tweeted about, and a couple other little cool pins, and a Nintendo indie shirt. John, I asked for your size. They didn't have it.
No, that sucks. That shirt was really cool. I was like, man, that'd be really nice to have. But they never have the Husky Boy. They never have.
Yeah. Logitech, Lenovo was giving out tons of shirts. Logitech was like, I got one shirt, and they're like, do you want more? We can't really take this home. I was like, sure. So give me like 5 shirts. I was like, all right, thanks, I guess. So I got pretty much every size manageable.
That was hilarious. We can't take these back, so here you take.
And that hasn't happened in the last couple of years. Most people are like, no. Yeah. Like even Ubisoft had nothing to give away. Huh. They had like a pin if you did well in Far Cry 5, but most of the time they have computers set up. They want you to pre-order. Here's your 20 different shirts.
Yeah, I can see that.
At the Lego Marvel booth, they're giving out little tiny minifigs. That was kind of cool. Iron Man themed. I got one, gave it to my nephew.
Yeah, so. That's cool. Sweet.
Bethesda had a scavenger hunt, so they had a lot of stuff they were showing, and if you played at least 4 of their games and downloaded the Elder Scrolls card game, you could get in the raffle, spin the wheel. I won a Quake hat. Some of the other prizes included shirts, free games, but so that wasn't too bad. I was only waiting around for a couple hours, plus I wanted to see the games. So Wolfenstein, the cool thing about that is when you're done finishing the game, they had like a replica diner from the game, and they were making strawberry milkshakes, and they gave you this really cool cup. See, hang on one second, see if I can grab it.
See, I like it when they do stuff like that. That's sweet. Oh, cool. It's like a thermos or insulated cup. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So it's a really nice cup. Comes with a nice straw. I said no to the milkshake because I didn't want to have to clean it, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning. So.
You didn't want to carry around a milkshakey glass all day? Why not?
Dripping everywhere, over my hand.
You just go to the bathroom and just rinse it out.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it. As we mentioned earlier, I did win a Switch. There was a booth upstairs on the 6th floor. It was. Look at my notes really quick. Raw Fury Games. They mostly do indie stuff. They had a couple cool things. They had like a 2D platformer, and they had a an ultra-violent twin stick shooter, and a couple other games. So you play all 4 games. I chatted with the guy, signed up for their newsletter. It was Saturday morning, day 2 of the convention. Walked away, got home on Tuesday, checked my email, and hey, I want to Switch. So
Sweet.
The Switch shipped overnight to me. It arrived. It's here in its box.
In its box?
Yeah, why is it in its box?
My gosh, why is it in its box? Why have you not opened this yet?
Because I've had 1,020,000 things to do.
Oh, you make time for that, brother.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I am serious about it because I went out and bought a case and some screen protectors from Amazon.
Yeah,
so.
Those are the good screen protectors. Those.
Yeah, and they're also like $10 cheaper than anything I can find.
Oh, are they? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize they were that cheap.
Like
I have those screen protectors too.
Yeah, I do. I love them.
Yeah, and I got to find something to pick up and play with it. So that'll be my next objective.
Oh,
but yeah,
Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania, Zelda.
On PS4.
Zelda.
Actually, might get Mario Kart as well too. I thought about that.
Yeah, Mario Kart, Zelda.
I got Mario Kart.
Man, there's a lot of good things out.
Splatoon 2. I have Splatoon 2. It's actually a pretty cool game.
Get snipper clips for you and the wife.
Yeah, there's a new version of that coming out, a disc cartridge-based version. So yeah, get that one. I can't remember how many Switch games I have. Quite a few. I bought more Switch games than I've bought any other games this year. So
I was just really surprised. It was on my list. You know, I was gonna get one eventually, probably in the next year or so. I'm like, oh, it's cool. And of course, the first thing people ask me, my friends at PAX ask me, "Oh, you're gonna sell it?" I was like, no, I'm going to keep this.
They know you too well.
As they're running around with their 6 bags of swag, and I only have 3. So
Yeah.
like, but it was, I had a really good time. I didn't get sick this year. Every time I touched the escalator, hand sanitizer.
I would just pour the hand sanitizer on the escalator on the way up.
Carry a bucket of
you just sit there at the top, just keep pouring it as it goes.
Yeah, really, just holding it on there.
Yeah, but I gave away lots of shirts to my friends, and I kept a little bit of the swag for myself. But pretty much, I had a really good time this year, and I will not be going next year. Probably, I'll probably be skipping next year just because it's pretty hard. After several days, I was pretty wiped.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, okay, Robert, you went to the GameStop Expo thing. This was your first year as a manager. So
yeah, I actually attended the entire conference. So that's the expo plus all the manager training they did. We won't really talk about that side of things, but
I want to know about that kind of stuff.
He'll tell you offline.
Yeah.
Tell me about GameStop's new selling techniques, and I want to know this stuff. This is what everybody wants to know.
There's actually a lot of vendor training that we got, but a lot of it was like NDA stuff that we can't actually share with anybody yet. But as far as like the expo is concerned, when we were allowed in, it was actually the second day of it, which is just the managers. So that the first day was the public facing stuff.
Got it.
So it was really just 4,000 managers there, but there weren't really too many lines. Mario Odyssey was the biggest one, but even then I was in line for maybe like 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I spent most of my time with Odyssey, and it's gorgeous for a Switch game. I really like what I played. I did find that I was a little underwhelmed by the controls, but you're also thrown into this thing. I only got to play the one level, so I didn't really have any tutorial or any context on how things do. The guy's standing behind me, just staring at me playing, and I'm just kind of like, leave me alone.
That's the way it was. That was the way it was when I went to the Gears of War launch party in Chapel Hill. It was like it was me and everybody from the Gears of War team, and we're all in line, and a bunch of the Xbox people who somehow got in. Still to this day, I don't know how I got in, but that was the way it was. It was like the developers were just sitting behind you going, they throw you into Gears of War with no context whatsoever, and this is a brand new game, and they're standing behind you going, you really want to kind of do this. You kind of want to put this in here.
Like, I really just want to explore the game and have you leave me alone. That'd be great.
Just let me just move around and do whatever. I just want to take it in. So, yeah, I totally get that. It's kind of nerve-wracking with them standing behind you.
Yeah, dude would not leave me alone. And I'm just... So I'm trying to get my bearings, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then I realize that my camera's not inverted. So I'm trying to pause the game and find the settings, and I look over my shoulder, I'm like, Can I invert the controls? And he was just like, oh, it's in the demo version. We don't have any settings, but in the full game, you should be able to do that. And I'm just like, all right, fine.
So the big question is it Sonic Adventure? Is it Super Mario 64?
It feels more like 64.
Okay.
64/Sunshine, but the hat is really what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So you got Cappy, and the guy was telling me that you can do different moves with the hat. Push different buttons for the hat, and it should do different things. Or if you flick your wrist a different way, it should do something. But I only got it to do one thing, and that was just to fling out straight in front of me. So that's what I did. I just figured that at whatever level I was at, it hadn't unlocked those other abilities.
Yeah,
yet.
It could be, yeah.
Because it was the sand level, the one that we saw at E3 this year. And I mean, it was really cool. I liked the sand effect; it looked really nice. I was a little underwhelmed with how much stuff was in the world. Everything was really spaced out. It all looked good, but it didn't feel alive to me. It kind of felt like if you took the Mario 3D world and like instead of it being an isometric view, you actually were able to go through and look at everything. Everything wouldn't be lined up properly, and it would look just much more open.
Yeah.
But once I actually got to the sections of the map where the enemies were and the actual game started, it got a lot better. The highlights for me were that you weren't doing the same thing for too long. You switched from the 3D to the 2D perspective to fighting your enemies. It just was a lot of variety in there, and it wasn't something I was really expecting. Especially coming from me, I'm not a big fan of Super Mario 64. In fact,
I'm not either.
I do not like it
Yeah,
at all.
I never did either. So,
but
that was my big thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't getting that vibe from this one. I actually really enjoyed the gameplay. Cappy is really cool. Taking over the enemies, each enemy has their own abilities, which is cool. There were these stone dudes that you could take over, and they have sunglasses on, and their move is that when you put the sunglasses down, you can reveal the secret pathways. So there's different puzzles and things you have to kind of figure out utilizing those guys and hoping that you don't fall off these invisible platforms when you turn back into Mario.
Yeah.
But it was good. The guy asked afterwards was just like, "Oh, what was your favorite part?" And I'm just like, it was like a 20-minute demo, man. Like, it's Mario.
Well, at least you had a good while to play it.
Yeah.
Hey, I meant to mention that when I was at the Bethesda booth at PAX, the lady was telling me that the GameStop convention, she's like, oh, it was, or Expo, she's like, yeah, the wait times were like 20 minutes to play all of our games, and did you know it's open to the public? And I'm like, it is?
Yeah.
So that was
it is,
yeah. I did not know that.
There's one
every year.
Isn't it just one day for the public? Isn't it just one day for the public?
It's only a 2-day thing. There's their day and our day.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was only one day for the public. So yeah.
So everything was like crammed together. It was in like it was in the Venetian hotel and in a big conference room, but it wasn't crowded. There was a lot of stuff there, but there was plenty of elbow room to walk around and see everything. I was mostly just trying to run around and spend a little time with each game and grab as much swag as I could for my team back home so that they didn't feel left out when I got back. Speaking of which, I got like 30 fidget spinners from Square Enix.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I don't even own
like
a
fidget spinner, please.
I don't even own it. I've never even touched a fidget spinner, so I don't even know if they're worth having 30 of them or not. So.
No, they're not. But it was easy to give to people.
There. What was that, Nathaniel?
They're gonna have Final Fantasy VR fidget spinners.
Hopefully, no.
On everything with Final Fantasy VR ideas at this point. Why not that?
Sure. Why not?
So from Mario Odyssey, I went over to look at some of the other Nintendo stuff, and I was just kind of looking around mostly at this point. There wasn't really anything else I wanted to play. And then I saw Skyrim there, and I was like, oh, I should definitely just see how this actually handles, how it's holding up on the Switch. And I was super impressed. I don't really like Skyrim, but This thing ran perfectly. There was no hitches. There was no frame rate drops. It looks like I remember it looking, and it was in handheld mode, so I couldn't really compare it at full resolution. But it looks like Skyrim. It didn't look like there was any downgrade to it at all. It felt good.
Cool.
I don't really have anything bad to say about it, other than I just don't like Skyrim. But if you do, and you want to play it on the go, this is one's going to be good for you.
Yeah. That's one I'll get eventually. I won't get it at launch, but I'll get it sometime because I would like to play it on the go. It would be cool to be able to take it wherever and play it. So.
Since I've never played it, it's even a better excuse for me to get it.
Well, yeah, if you've never played it,
you should get it on
absolutely
the Switch.
get it on the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I went to the Sony booth. Their section was actually really cool. They had some dude dressed up as Kratos there, and then some dude walking around as Big Knack. And I went up into their trailer, skipping all the Call of Duty stuff because the beta was going on, so I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And up in their trailer, that's where I first played Knack 2, and then I put that down and started walking around looking at things. They had Ni no Kuni 2 on display. I was gonna play it, but there was people there, and I was like, I don't need to play it, but it looked gorgeous.
Yeah,
like the art's, the style of Studio Ghibli, it just in 1080p now, and it looks gorgeous on the PS4.
I have the limited, or not the, I have the $100 version. I had to buy that one. I had to.
From there, I went over to play Being Human, and man. Talk about photorealism. Being Human looks phenomenal. You don't really... that's what you expect from, Quantic Dream. And just like that, it feels very Heavy Rain. As far as like controlling the movement of your character. When you're walking around, it's kind of like tankish in its feel, but the cool thing about it is the almost augmented reality aesthetic to the way that it handles the game. You're playing through as a robot, or one of 3 different robots, I believe it is in this one. And I was in like a crime scene. I was a police robot, and the way the story would unfold is just as you're going through different sections of the area, you'll start to see like words pop up on either the left or right side. Say there's a room on my left, or I could continue going straight. And to the left, I could, do some more investigative work on some of the crime scene, and then those words will start to get bigger. But then if I turn away, it'll go down the other way, and then those words will get bigger. And that's kind of how you make your choices just as you play. But it lets you know that way, and it definitely made me feel like I was a part of the game, just because I knew that I was a robot in the game. And it just flowed really well. Besides that, it's the same like contextual like cutscenes that you got in Heavy Rain, and also in like Until Dawn, but that's not Quantic Dream. Let's see, Yakuza 6. I spent some time with Yakuza 6 just because they had an awesome bag that I wanted to grab, so I wanted to make sure I was around there at the hour mark that they said they were going to give this bag out with.
Yeah, that was the one you sent me that picture. I was like, that's the one they had at E3, and there's been a couple times I almost picked one up off of eBay. So I don't know what I'd do with it, man. But
people were like bum rushing this stand, but it was really cool. Like they had like a little section set up where it looked like you were walking through like a Tokyo street.
Yeah,
and the way they had the game set up, they had like free play mode and story mode. I should have done free play mode, but it was timed, and I was afraid I wasn't really going to do anything. But I jumped into story mode, and again, with no context, especially in Yakuza, I had no idea.
Yeah, when they throw you into a game like that, and you're not, there's. Yeah.
It was just like, find this kitten, and I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I'll look for this kitten.
This is weird. Why am I looking for a kitten?
Thought I was this badass Yakuza guy. But, I like the Yakuza series. I played 1 and 2, and as I was telling you earlier, I'm downloading 0 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if in the most recent ones they have English voiceovers or not, but this one was all subbed.
No, none of them. No, the only one that ever did was 1. All the rest of them have had subtitles.
I couldn't remember. Yeah. So this one still is all subtitles, which is fine. But I really didn't get anything accomplished in the game. I was just kind of looking around. It looks like Yakuza. It's the same engine that they were using before, I believe.
Yeah.
The faces are phenomenal, but the world looks a little dated now, but the faces are incredible in those.
Yeah.
In those games.
Well, and what's nice is they're using that 6 engine and they're redoing 2 just like they redid 1. So they'll almost have the entire trilogy or the entire series on there.
Crossing my fingers for all of them.
Yeah, I hope. At least as long as they bring that the second one over, I'll be happy. They
still have all the other ones on PS3.
Yeah, I still have all the other ones on PS3, and I've got the Japanese versions too. Because every time they never released them over here, I went ahead and bought the Japanese versions, and then 6 months later they said, "Oh, by the way, we're releasing it in America now." So thanks.
5 is digital only. I believe.
Thanks for letting me know.
It was digital only in the U.S. Yes, it was.
Gotcha.
I have a physical Japanese version, but it's only released in the U.S. Digitally. So yeah, but yeah, I had to order. Did you see the collector's edition for that one with the glasses and the?
Oh, I got it.
I had to get that one. Yeah, I had to. Look,
didn't play 3, 4, or 5, but I had to get that collector's edition.
Yeah, I had to have that collector's edition. And I this was I said years ago, I'm not buying any more collector's editions. You keep bringing out these awesome collector's editions of the stuff that I actually want, then yes, I will still buy them.
And it's only $80 for all that.
Super cheap.
Incredible deal.
Just the glasses alone, to me, were worth $50.
Agreed. I mean, they're probably not going to be as high quality as I'm hoping they are, but
yeah, I hope they are too, but I doubt they will be.
They're definitely not going to be etched or anything.
Oh, I don't know. They may be. We'll see.
I hope so.
I hope so too. But yeah, it looks really
cool. So I did get to play Gran Turismo Sport. And I played it in VR.
Oh.
And did you play the Drive Club demo in VR or the game in VR? You haven't done any VR at all.
No, I have done no VR.
So I did play the Drive Club demo, and immediately that game made me the most nauseous, motion sick
I can see that.
VR. Gran Turismo, not even a hint of motion sickness. I don't know what the difference was. But
frame rate maybe or something?
It could be. Maybe refresh rate.
Huh.
My only problem with this demo was, so I go into the Sony booth and there's this girl there. And she's like, "Oh, you want to play Gran Turismo?" I'm like, whatever. "Oh, it's VR, sure. I'll give it a shot." So she sits me down, and it wasn't in like one of those cockpit things. It was just a chair and a controller.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'm gonna put the headset over your head now, and I'm just sitting there like, "Lady, I got a VR. Let me do it. I know what I'm doing." And she's like, "Is that good?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Can I adjust it?" And she's like, "Okay, fine." so I'm adjusting this thing, and I finally get a position, and she's like, "I'm coming over top with the headphones." I'm like, "I'm not 5." Like, whatever. So we get them on. And,
I'm guessing somebody at some point must have like freaked out. Somebody must have freaked out that day or something before you got there.
Probably.
Anyway,
but I couldn't see a darn thing in this headset. Like it had oil all over the eyelets, and I was just like, I can make out the cars and the road, but like I could not even comment on how this game looked in VR because of it. They needed to like deep clean this thing before they put it on.
Gross, pink eye for everybody.
Exactly. But I mean, it played fine. There was no weird frame rate issues. I didn't get motion sickness. I enjoyed looking around the cockpit. It felt good to be able to actually look into my turns and see all that stuff. But I can't really comment on how it looks in VR compared to the game.
Yeah.
Obviously the resolution has been, halved at least for VR, but felt good.
I would like to play VR, but nobody around me has a VR headset, so I can't even try VR. When I was down in North Carolina that one time and I thought I was going to be able to stop by, I was like, man, I really want to stop by because I want to try VR.
Yeah, man.
But
definitely.
Wasn't able to stop by. Wow. Must be. Good night, everybody. I don't even know what to say to that.
Try it out, see if you like it, and then maybe I can get you a good deal.
Dude, I got one for you to buy. What is this? A sales pitch? What's going on here?
That's how it works, right? You put your hands on it, you see you like it, you buy it.
I guess it's like, man. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean that was the last game that I really spent any time with playing.
Yeah.
I walked around and I saw a bunch of other games. Shadow of War was there, and it graphically looked really, really good. For some reason, I'm just not super like interested this time. I played the first one and I thought it was good, but I didn't really stick with that one either.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe it's just the theme isn't really grabbing me, but I don't know. It looked
first one, but I'm less interested in this one because I'm a Lord of the Rings geek, and this one's way more fan fiction-y.
I see.
I can see that.
Changing and just doing all this weird stuff, which could still be fun, and they're doing it to make a fun game. And if that's successful, then I'll still probably play it.
It's got like this game inside of a game mechanic going on too. That just I was not feeling like building up your own army and stuff. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to fight orcs and run around Mordor.
This one maybe I'll get when it's on sale, or unless the reviews are just really great. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll get it, but it's one I put on the burner. I don't need to get right away.
I liked the first one. It was okay. I mean, it didn't blow me away enough to even finish it. So this one just has no interest in me.
It had its one good kind of gimmick to it, and then the combat was pretty decent. But it's Batman Arkham style combat.
Yeah, it was like a Batman clone.
Yeah.
So,
well, cool.
The other game I saw there that I actually did change my mind about was Assassin's Creed Origins. I was always interested in the theme for this one being in Egypt. I thought it looked really cool until I saw the E3 trailers, and then I was just like, I don't see anything worth my time here. But they showed some new footage of it at the conference, and I saw some from walking around the expo, and they showed the combat for it. So now it's a lot closer over the shoulder type of combat, much more tactical. It looks way better combat wise. It's not like this kind of weird free flowing, whatever sloppy looking combat. It's more of like a God of War light type of thing. It's not as arcadey as God of War. It's like if you mix God of War with like a Dark Souls type of feel to it.
Okay.
At least from what I could see. I didn't get hands-on with it, but it looked really cool. And with that being said, it changed my mind, and it's definitely on my radar now.
I'm always interested in the Assassin's Creed games, even the terrible ones, because I like that universe and I like those games. So I usually
what are the terrible ones?
Well, I mean, some are not as I won't say terrible. Some are not as good as others. I liked 3 a lot.
It was pretty bad until they patched it.
Yeah, Unity wasn't that great. Once they patched it, it was fine. 3, I liked the story of 3, but it wasn't like the best one. 2 was still better than 3.
I hated the woods in 3.
Yeah.
That part just really annoyed me.
Yeah, and see, I started playing Rogue the other day. I'd never played Rogue, and it came up BC on Xbox One, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll play it on there. The frame rate's better. It looks a little sharper, so I'll play it on there. And it's pretty much 3 with a different character and a different story. You still got the woods, you still got the everything.
I heard it was more like Black Flag, lots of ship action.
Well, there's ship action, but there was ship action in 3, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's more of a extended story of 3 than it is to me. It seemed like. What's that?
Now I'm staring at it on my shelf, going, oh.
I couldn't hear you, Nathaniel. What'd you say?
I didn't think 3 had ships in it. They had They had the little.
It had like one section,
but I didn't think it had sailing ships around like Black Flag had.
No, it didn't have the full sailing ships around like Black Flag had, and Rogue does, but it's still, to me, it seems you're in the same exact areas that you were in 3 as far as on the land.
Got it. Okay.
So it's pretty much they said, okay, we're going to take some of Black Flag and put it in Assassin's Creed 3 and use the same assets with a different character. I mean, that's essentially what it was. So it's like, I'm not saying it was bad. It just wasn't as good.
It just wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. So, and Origins is one. Honestly, that's probably. I'm trying to think of games that I have pre-ordered that I'm looking forward to till the end of the year, and I think it's Xenoblade, it's Mario, and probably Origins. I can't think of anything else.
The only game I know for certain I'm gonna get is Mario at this point.
Mario, I'm probably gonna get Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah.
So I got some friends playing it. But
the only 2 games I had pre-ordered were Wolfenstein and South Park game, because I like South Park.
Mine too. I don't know. We'll see.
I have Rim on Switch pre-ordered because I wanted the physical, not the digital. But it's been out for a while. I think it comes out the end of the month or something like that. Other than that, there's really nothing that's wowing me. I'll play Call of Duty. I'll go to the red box and I'll rent it. I'll play the campaign and then I'll take it back the next day.
Did you play the beta?
No.
Yeah, I missed out on the beta too.
I didn't like it.
I was sick and out of town working, so it was like, I'm not even going to try. By the time I get back, I'm not going to feel like playing the beta at all. So I didn't even. I know you had a code, and I didn't even take it. I was like, and I really don't care about the multiplayer anyway. I just want to play that story. I love World War II. Dad was in World War II. I grew up hearing World War II stories. So when there's a World War II game, I always play it. And that's the Call of Duty I liked, was the World War II. So I'll play it, but I won't spend $60.
Right.
I'll spend $3 to $6 and rent it from Redbox and play it the weekend and take it back. Or I've got to come back to GameFly for, I don't know, $1. So I'm waiting to the very last day. I'll come back to GameFly. Maybe I'll get it from there or something. It won't even cost me $3. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so it sounds like there was a lot of cool things at both.
Yeah, it was.
And
it
you
was
actually
fun.
got to see things and hands-on with things. That's what's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sounds like Robert got to play a little bit more than I did, at least with the AAA titles, just because I think at PAX just a little bit more lines and more people.
Well,
there were way more people where you were.
Yeah, and being a more of a GameStop managers thing that second day, that helps a lot too, because you're only there with GameStop people. So Robert, does this make you want to go to, since you're not going to be with GameStop anymore, does this make you want to go to something like PAX East or PAX West even, or does it make you
come
go
down to Texas, PAX South?
Yeah, or does it make you go, you know what? I've had one and I'm good. I don't need to go back again.
It's nice to play the games early, but I don't think it's worth waiting in line for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was thinking about when I was like, man, it'd be really cool to see like Fallout VR. But I'm like, I don't want to stand in line 3.5 hours out of, my 8 hours the hall is open. There goes half your day.
My favorite parts of the trip it wasn't the expo. It was actually the vendor training rooms where we got to sit down with the developers and they would show us stuff and talk about their games, to where it was more like a press release than anything else. That was my favorite part of it, because we actually got the one-on-one time with them and really learn about the games. Yeah, it wasn't hands-on, but you really learned a lot more than what you would in the 15 minutes of screwing around in some random demo.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Well, cool. Yeah, so that's awesome. I still don't know if I'd want to go to PAX. I keep saying I'll go to PAX East sometime, and then I never want to go. So it's just the comic convention was in Greensboro over the weekend, and Danny, that I do the retro podcast with, went, and he's sick today. It's like, I don't think I'm.
Yeah, I would recommend, if you don't want to really go to PAX, think about going to one of the retro conventions. Those are smaller.
Yeah. I've been to some of the NC Comic Cons here.
They're smaller and they're decent. I mean, it's a little taste of convention.
Yeah, there's one out in Missouri, the MyCom or something like that, Midwest or Missouri Comic Con or Missouri RetroCon or something like that just started up. That it was really small this year. It had a lot of people and a lot of vendors and a lot of panels and stuff, but it wasn't huge because the word hadn't got out yet. So something like that I may go to. I'd really like to go to like Midwest Gaming. Whatever it's called, Midwest Gaming Conference or
Midwest Gaming Classic.
Classic, that's it. Yeah, up in Wisconsin.
It's pretty good.
I like going to these sort of things, just kind of like walking around with people I know and just like observing. I like seeing what people dress up as, and I like, seeing the games. But I'm not going to be a part of the chaos. I don't think.
I think that would be me too.
Yeah, I did hit up the console free play area. I forgot to mention this. I did hit up the console free play area a little bit, and back in the day, I used to play a lot of Soul Calibur on Dreamcast. I thought I was good.
I thought I was good, but then this young whippersnapper come up and whipped my butt 3 ways a Sunday.
Pretty much, that's how it happened. But then he's like, we should play something else. I'm like, let's play Power Stone 2, and I destroyed him. So, still got something.
Make you feel better.
Yeah.
And someone hooked up the Sega Bass fishing controller hooked up the
Oh,
Dreamcast.
I love that.
Ooh, I should play Power Stone. But I was like, no.
I have that. I love that. There is nothing better than whipping somebody in a fighting game with a Dreamcast fishing controller because it's got all the buttons and one stick on it. So that's all you need.
And one of my friends played against me in Soul Calibur, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't played in a couple years." And within like 5 minutes, he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember how to do this," and I was obliviated in like a 10-hit combo. So I was like, "Well,
back in my day, we just had one stick and a button."
There we go, Atari style.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. That's good. That's almost 2 hours. So I knew we'd be a little longer. One, because we hadn't been in a while, and two, we had had the expo stuff to talk about. So all right.
And that was if I had gone as media, it would have been fun to have the appointments, and it would have been really cool to go and like I had gone before and gotten like the hand-on-hand, one-on-one stuff. But if you go as media,